Yo, Tripolar Bear. We're going to talk about why farming breach rings right now is so profitable and why exactly each and every one of these is worth 3.5 to 4 chaos each, right? For each breach ring. We're going to talk about these new contract implicits that can give you double rogue markers. They can give you 100% chance to duplicate contents for all of the chests. And there is a most valuable contract here, completing a heist, generating 3 additional reveals. This one is worth 9C. So let's go over what the farm is, how much money I made, and what the strategy is exactly. Get the important information out of the way, of course, along with the profit as well. Why we are farming breach rings right now and why they are worth around 4 chaos each is because there are grasping males that are becoming very, very popular with ward loop builds, I believe, and then forbidden cast on crit builds. So when you vendor an entire inventory full of breach rings, just like Loreweave, you'll get a special rare, not a unique. This rare has specific mods. You can't chaos orb into these mods. You can only get these very specific mods that are only on the grasping mail through identifying one, right? It's only on that initial identify where the mods can come up. You can't like craft it. You know, it's not like a base that has these mods on them. It's just boom, you have them. And what makes them so valuable is people are going to be trying to fracture this mod and then they can actually craft on it, because otherwise it's very difficult to just craft, right, with a random prefix here. Now, people are selling these, as you see, for 17, 20 or more exalts if you can identify one of these global defense mods onto your grasping mail. But it's a gamble. So let's say you don't want to gamble. Well, if we go over here, you can see you can sell these for 1.5 to 2 exalts, meaning each ring is worth 3.5 to 4 chaos each. So you can sell unidentified grasping mails, and that makes farming normal breaches, which is so cheap right now, right? Polished breach scarabs, so insanely cheap. And the breach sextant, which you can buy in bulk on TFT, 5C each, right? You're paying like 2C per map and you're getting so many rings out of all of these. So we're going to talk about how much money we made from doing that. But grasping mails right now are big. They are huge and easy money. So I got in 69 maps, 322 breach rings and about 4C each. That brings them to 1,200 chaos. All right. So that's the breach rings. They're nuts. Of course, I'm Mr. Broadcaster, so catch me live on my Twitch stream today. I will be vendoring all my breach rings, and I will be gambling for a global defense grasping mail. There is one other thing. You can vendor item level 86, and it will come with a fractured mod on it. Now, getting item level 86 rings is very difficult. It's Tujin and flawless breach stones only, but that is another way to get the fractured global defense mod. This is just much easier, right, to get the global defense on the ID, sell it un-ID'd, and if somebody else wants to try to fracture it with a harvest craft or something, they can go ahead and do that. But if you were wondering how much the fractured mod goes for, well, the fractured mod is going to go for 130 exalts or more. So if you've got some huge cojones, you can vendor 60 breach rings, even if they're item level 83, totally fine. All right, obviously it's better to have the 86 ones, but 83 is still going to sell. People are still going to want it. All right. If you got some big cojones, though, you're going to want to vendor 60 breach rings. You're going to hit global defense when you ID, and you're going to YOLO a harvest fracture onto your grasping mail. And that is the pinnacle of gambling. 130 eggs for that one. Now, most people should probably just sell un-ID'd or at least ID it. All right. That's a little bit less of a gamble. That's breach rings in a nutshell. The next thing that we were doing in this farm is going to be contracts. So the contracts that we're farming are from a new sextant that says non-unique contracts that drop have an additional implicit. And so those additional implicits are actually pretty cool. If you're getting into heist, this is pretty nice because you get chance to duplicate contents. They have 100 more life, but heist is pretty trivial regardless. Double rogue perks. Maybe you don't want that one. A lot of people are going to want the extra reveals though. Now, the thing is with these 3 additional reveals, even if it's on Deception, you get 3 Wakano reveals, 1 Gianna reveal. But this is going to let you pump out a lot more blueprints, right? Instead of having to do 4 Giannas or whatever, you're having to like do all these contracts. It just makes it really easy to get a bunch of reveals because you kind of just want to get into unusual gem BPs right now, right? That stuff is crazy, right? You want to just get into the next one. You don't want to always like, oh, I need to save all this money on my rogue markers. No, you want to get into another one. So these are super helpful for just getting into another BP. You know, you just use Gianna for like a full wing, maybe some of the more expensive ones. And then Wakano, you know, maybe you just want to reveal some stuff, right? I could see these being very nice, and they're just nice to have for yourself, if any. So this makes it really nice. Anyways, the contracts, the 3 reveals are at about 9C each, which is what I had sold 28 of them so far at. Come out to 350 chaos. There's deceptions that I've gotten. Those are 9C each as well. And there are lockpicks. Those are the only contracts I've priced. Now you can bulk sell all the other random ones for 1C each if you want, but I just did deception, the 3 reveal, and lockpick. I didn't do any of the other enchants. Maybe the other ones can sell for more. I think those are kind of for fun, right? 100% chance to duplicate is kind of just fun. Now, when we look at the Exiles next, I sold 28 of them, but I put the chaos back into the tab. I took this out in the end, so I'm not double dipping. But just so you know, I only have these many reveals. I have like 11 because I had sold some of them already. We got some blueprints as well from doing the heist strategy, right? We got random BPs. I priced those very conservatively, right? We just did the revealed ones, 70C for armaments, maybe. You can get that on the low end, right? That was the very lowest one, 80C for replica, fully revealed, and 1.8 exalts for a fully revealed gem blueprint. And you get these fully revealed by having a 10% chance for blueprints to drop fully revealed. We'll go over the tree in a little bit though. But that's how I priced those. And then I got 4 unusual gems BPs, which I just have at 30C. You could probably get 40 if you're willing to wait a little bit. Anyways, that is the big, huge emphasis on this farm. In addition to that, I added Expedition because it's nuts and super cheap, and Legion because it's nuts and it's super cheap. So let's get into what I actually did for this farm and how we get the contracts and the breach rings. I bought the Smuggler Cash Breach and Magic Pack Size, and then the new non-unique heist contracts have an additional implicit. These are the sextants I bought. These are extremely cheap. You can go to the TFT and set up a willing to buy order, which is what I do before I start the stream to try to get them, you know, nice and easy. Or you can go to the willing to sell bulk compass section and buy these about 5C each, right? Additional breach is easy. Magic pack size. These are all like super, super cheap. And I imagine as more people farm them, more people are going to be recognizing that these are actually pretty good compasses. Right. And then we have Smuggler Cash. It's how you get your contracts. And then how we get the implicits is from this one. The scarabs I used, Rusted Div. I did get 2 brothers. I turned one in so I could buy some stuff later on. But I did get 2 brothers in these 69 maps. So I just use Rusted Divs. I mean, you get some GCP cards too. It's pretty nice. These were like 0.5 to 1C each. It's really trivial. And it's pretty cool because you get a brother. Polished Expedition. If you have money, you should buy these. If you don't, you get Rusted. Polished Legion. These are like 1C each. It's super dumb. It's where I got most of my raw Exalt drops is just from Legion Sergeants and whatnot. And then Polished Breach, because we're farming breach. For the tree, for my maps, the map rolling, I have so many cemeteries. Bulk sustaining maps is so easy right now. So I just filled a whole tab with cemeteries. I qualityed them all. I elked them all. I checked for mods with my rejects that I can't do. And then I corrupted them all because I have so many maps. I might as well corrupt them, get some extra quant and get some extra juice. And then I did my rejects again to see if I, had to take out any for mods that I really don't prefer running. So, maps super easy, right? You don't really roll them for anything. You just elk them and then corrupt them all. I didn't really do much more than that. We did Fortune Favors the Brave. That's because it gives 10 pack size and 10 quant, and it just gives you a little bit of a random boost. It's pretty nice. This is the tree. I'll have this link down in the description. It's really simple. You take the Expedition stuff, you take Harbinger things, you take the Legion things, and you take the Breach stuff and the contract blueprint things. And then we skirt the edge because of increased effect of modifiers on non-unique maps. This gives us lots of quant, so that's cool. We want more quant, we want more pack size and rarity. That's just all the good stuff. And then we take Eater of World Altars, so we get a bunch of scarabs. Super generic stuff, right? We are reaching around for Xesht-Ula and Old Natol here. We're doing all of this. We do Marikath Templar. Super, super easy and super basic. Now, the Xesht-Ula nodes, if you guys look, this is something I wanted to try to farm too. Call of Xesht-Ula. I don't know how I'm supposed to say this. I've heard it pronounced many ways. I won't pronounce one of them on YouTube. But Xesht-Ula, 2% chance to drop. And I got them to spawn one time. And they dropped a Zoth Breachstone. Xesht-Ula sucks. It's not worth it. Even if Xesht-Ula dropped every single breachstone, every single time you got them, it would give you on average 2 Xesht-Ula splinters and 2 Ulnatul splinters every single map. That kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. At the end of the day, I think it's kind of a crappy node. It's very boring. I wish it was way more interesting, considering it's a 2% chance to happen. And they just like drop a breachstone sometimes, and then you can get just a 4C breachstone. It seems kind of lame. At least make it drop, you know, every single breachstone. So we've gone over sextants, scarabs, how to roll the map, and the Atlas tree. So let's get into the profit of the strategy. So like we talked about, breach rings, we made a 1200 chaos profit there. We made about another 1100 chaos in contracts and blueprints, 930 chaos. Expedition's nuts. You know, it's a 7C scarab, and you make so much money off of it every single time. It's just nuts. And then our totals, 6,557. This is the Exile it's next. So let's go over this. And you guys can see the tab that I was doing here as well, right? Just lots of currency. I took out all essences, guardian maps, fossils, anything that's super annoying and dumb. It's literally just like currency, scarabs, and like stacked decks or the breachstones that I got. And then we have all the emblems here. And you can see this represented in my Exile it's next tab, right? It counted up all the Ostrogali, exotic coinage, burial medallions. Oh, by the way, the expedition stuff, this was just logbooks, right? This the 930 chaos was just logbooks. I let Exile it's next do the counting, right? We got almost 200 Ostrogalis, which are worth about 2.5C each. We got 84 exotic coinage. We got a lot of burial medallions, right? You get a lot of other things there as well, which adds, you know, another huge chunk of change, right? 300 here, almost 500, right? We add those together. It's about 800, about like 1,000 extra chaos from expedition. So almost 2K total just in expedition. It's pretty nuts, guys. But the biggest moneymaker that I had in my Exile it's next tab was Exalts. I got a lot of raw X. And I think it's mainly because of the Legion. Legion is just nuts, and because I'm running so many maps, getting so many surgeons, I had so much quant on my map, we just got a lot of raw eggs. I think I got 5 raw exalts, and the rest were just random exalt shard drops and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Chaos, some of this is from the contracts I sold. Like I said, I took those contract price out, so I wasn't double dipping. And then we've got Mariketh emblems, which you have a chance to get because of the Atlas passive node. You know, sextants, all of this. And if we scroll all the way down, I'm not going to go through every drop, but we scroll all the way down, it's really easy to sell stuff, right? We have lots of random scarabs, eldritch chaos orbs, you know, a couple random catalysts that are worth like 5C each. And then the very bottom of it is like a writhing invitation. I don't know, like 8C or something, right? Maybe you're not going to sell your 19 enkindling orbs, whatever. You can take 100 chaos off at the end if you want. But I try to take out only stuff that you really, really wouldn't be able to sell. The total cost for the 69 maps was 1,311 chaos. We made 6,550 total. And so our profit in the end was 5,200 chaos or 37 exalts, which gives you about 76 profit in chaos every map. And I was running these maps about 6 to 7 minutes per map, right? So let's say I can run about 10 of these per hour. That means per hour, I'm making 760 chaos, and the price of Exalt is about 140 right now. So, you know, it makes a really nice 5 to 5.5 Exalt per hour doing this strategy, which is actually pretty good considering doing like juiced deli mirrors makes like 6+ per hour, right? So you're like going down just a little bit, but it is a lot easier to do a lot of this bulk rolling. Now, the thing is with this strategy is as soon as a lot of people are starting to do the breach ring stuff, it's probably going to come down in price. If breach rings go from 4C to 2C a pop, that's still nuts, right? That's still crazy. Don't go into the YouTube comments and be like, oh, Mr. Broadcaster ruined my strat. No. All right. I gave you a way to make even more money now. Dude, your breach strings, you are probably unfiltering them. Even if they go all the way down to 1 or 2C a pop, that's still pretty good money, right? You're now randomly getting extra 1 chaos drops throughout your map, right? Even if they go from 4 to 1, that's still nuts. For a breach ring, yeah, are you really going to complain about a breach ring being 1C? There's no way, right? Surely not, surely not. Anyways, this is the strategy that I ran on stream. Elk and Go breach stuff, super easy. Now, maybe some people are like, oh, it's not Elk and Go. I don't know. These sextants are super easy to buy. I think you could do it. The scarabs are like rusted and polished. These are super, super easy as well. And it was real easy to just set up 69 maps, right? You're not rolling beyond. You're not doing any of that. I think this is going to be my exclamation mark poor strat for at least a little while. Anyways, I'm turning in all my breach rings on stream. I'll see you guys there, and hopefully I'll get a global defense. And maybe I'll fracture it. Who knows? Anyways, I'm also farming Spider Forest, getting Doctor Drops. All right, come tune in. I'll see you guys there. All right, bye. Subscribe.